Welcome, everybody, to Catholic Owned Live. We are live on 5 platforms, and we're just waiting on one more. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Catholic Owned Live, the Monday show. I am your host, Brooke Joyner. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Catholic Owned, and I am delighted to have you join me today. Here on Catholic Owned Live, this is a space for live conversations. Sorry. Here we go. We're good. Sorry, we just had a little hiccup. This is a place for conversations all about building the new Catholic economy. Here we talk honestly about work, business, and vocation, and what it actually takes to build economic life aligned with the faith that we profess as Catholics. I'm so glad you're here today. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic. The Monday show is all about a single topic, and we kind of do a little deep dive. So I'll get right into it. So last Monday, we talked about something that people don't always think about or necessarily say out loud. And that is that the businesses in our Catholic communities are the economic engines. And we ultimately should be supporting them to make them sustainable so they can help fund parish life and for the needs of the church, in addition to the families of the owners who own the businesses. All of that ultimately rests, all the needs of the church ultimately rest on families and businesses, like I said. But today I want to go a step deeper because supporting businesses in the parish community is about a lot more than finances. I will propose today that supporting the businesses is actually, or I should say, is also about evangelization. I believe this is one of the most often overlooked forms of evangelization in parish life today. But before I discuss that, I want to look at kind of what this doesn't look like. This is a story that will be very familiar to many of you. It is painful, but it is ultimately where we are starting in a lot of these conversations. So what does a parish or a Catholic community not supporting a Catholic-owned business look like? For the business owner, this is often experienced in any one of the following ways. The parish opts to sign and do business with a contractor who is not Catholic, but who is maybe 5% cheaper. A new business owner would like to promote their business to the parish, and they're told to advertise in the bulletin. Unfortunately, not everybody knows, but bulletin advertising is incredibly expensive. And not only that, based on the thousands of business owners that I have heard from, spoken to, and received feedback from, I've only ever met 3 that were happy with their bulletin advertising out of thousands. So based on that, it seems that the suggestion to spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a bulletin ad really is not a supportive way to encourage and support a new business in the parish. Another experience from a Catholic business owner might be that they they approach and let other people know about their business, and they are kind of shut down because they say, oh, well, this is church. We don't talk about business here. So these are some of the ways that this is experienced by Catholic business owners when done incorrectly. And so why is that a problem? First of all, because that business owner suddenly feels ostracized and kind of put out a little bit by their parish community, which I think all of us want our parish community to be the most welcoming, the most at-home place away from our own home, of course, and a place where we can go and offer our gifts and do, live our Catholic lives, but be in community with other people. And as soon as we are sort of rejected, any part of us, whether it be as a parent, as a business owner, as a volunteer, right? Any of those times we bring something and we are rejected or pushed away, the net result is not more souls served. The net result is distance and a decrease in participation. So, what I would like to propose today is that we actually turn that around completely. That if done correctly and approached with the right posture, that supporting the businesses in our parishes can be a form of evangelization. So, I'll talk about what that looks like uh, on the flip side, on the bright side, with the way that it can be. So, first is economic belonging. Which is the opposite of what I just described, right? It's easy to think that evangelization is really just inviting people to Mass, hosting retreats or having programs or outreaching to those outside the parish. But the truth is that the parishioners who are already in the parish, already in the church, they need to feel like their real life is supported by the church. For the most part, um, they need to feel like their life, their vocation, and all that they are is supported and embraced by the church, assuming they're living according to the precepts of the faith, obviously. Um, so, for most adults, a big part of their life is their work. Um, and that's just unavoidable, right? I mean, from Genesis, we have to work. And so it's a big part of our life. We spend most of our time working. It's how we use our talents and we provide for our families. Um, so when we kind of naturally, as Catholics, when we want to bring our work in with our faith, um, if the parish will actively support that work, we will experience something very concrete. And what that is it's a sense of true belonging, not just spiritually, but practically in all that we are. And that sense of economic belonging is incredibly powerful. It is incredibly powerful, excuse me. And not only is it powerful for the owner, right, who feels like they have a home here at this parish, that their family has a home here at this parish. But the follow-on refers back to last week, which is what are they going to do when they feel like they belong? They're going to give. So it truly is a complete circle. So the truth is that when people believe the church cares about them and that the church supports their vocation, they're going to be more involved. It's just the most logical thing in the world. So the next section I want to cover is about, goes a little bit deeper on the concept of vocation. So as I touched on in the last section, our work is how we live our vocation for the majority of lay people, right? Of course, we have priests and religious, which are amazing. But whether you're called to married life or single life, you usually have to work. And the church has been really clear, even the vocation of the business leader is a beautiful vocation. I spoke about that last Friday. And it is a valid and real and true and good way to approach work, which is necessary, and to live God's calling for your life in the work that you do. And so what I'm proposing here is that the parishes kind of embrace this reality. How do we embrace this reality as a community? It's about recognizing and honoring the vocations of the business leaders in the community. When a parish hires a parishioner's business for a service that's needed, when they recommend them to folks that call, when they introduce them to others in the community or help them be more visible to the broader community, it really sends a powerful message. And it really makes a difference for the business owners. They really feel like their work matters and is valued in this community, and that our vocation as business owners are part of the church's life in the world. And how important is it that we find our place in the life of the church, whoever we are, whatever the gifts God gave to us are, and however we are able to use them to feel seen and valued and incorporated and included in the church is everything that any one of us could ask for. So that sense of belonging it just goes so far beyond what any individual program could hope for. And I don't want to diminish programs or the other work the parishes are doing in the least bit, nor do I want to diminish the work of apostolates that bring retreats, that have beautiful speakers, and longer term programs too, like I'm thinking of Emmaus, for example, do give a real sense of belonging. I'm not diminishing those at all. We want more of those. But I believe that economic support is is uniquely positioned to show people that they have a place where they belong, and to continue to evangelize them the longer that they are there. So the important piece there is really that it is an ongoing, long-term program, long-term way of incorporating and evangelizing these key pillars of the community. Because when they are evangelized well, what do? They do things that parish programs cannot do. And that is that they make faith visible in the public square. They employ people, they serve customers excellently in most cases. They're building relationships with other leaders in the community and creating spaces where the church's values show up in daily life. It is possible that these Catholic business owners are the only Catholics that their customers will ever have an ongoing relationship with. And so that is quiet, steady evangelization that these Catholic business owners are doing out in the community, that the parish staff could never enough for their community to support them. The next step is when they're talking to other non-Catholics, what are they going to say? They're going to say that their community supports them. They're going to say being Catholic is the best thing ever, because this is how they're helping me practically in my own community. Compared to the negative that I kind of started with. So the community impact that these business owners can have takes the work of the parishes and expands it out into the community in a way that, like I said, the parish staff and all the programs and all of the nonprofits could literally never hope to do, because they are not out there involved in providing for the needs of those in their community the way that for-profit businesses do. I can't state it strong enough that the parish's mission becomes visible in the marketplace through the work of supported Catholic business owners. And this is something that grows over time. Organically, it becomes a way that people encounter the church through their relationships and through the excellence in service and products they receive from these for-profit businesses. So a parish culture that sees its business owners not only as donors, but as mission partners will not only support those business owners, but will reap the benefits of the whole surrounding community being the Catholic culture being permeated throughout their whole surrounding community. So as we kind of come up to the last portion of this presentation, here's a question worth asking. What would change if every parish intentionally fostered economic belonging? I want to ask you to think about that for a moment. What would that look like in your own parish, do you own a business? Do you know business owners? If there were business owners in the pew next to you, would you want to know? Would you choose to buy from them? These are real questions that, if we can just imagine, the answer the answer to a lot of those is yes. And if we were to actually do something about it, if that yes turned into action, I am a parishioner. If I knew the business owners, or excuse me, if I knew the person next to me in the pew was a business owner, I want to know. So the next step is, okay, how do I find that information out? How do I invite others to support those businesses too? So there's an action piece that's necessary. But these actions taken together over time build a culture within the parish where the business owners feel seen, they're connected, they're encouraged, they feel supported in their vocation, their families are supported, and business is being referred. They are themselves able to sustain the business, which in turn will result in more generosity back towards the parish. So this is not something that will happen overnight or through one initiative, but it is something that through everyday relationships we can begin to cultivate at the parish level. Obviously, everything that we do at Catholic Owned. I shouldn't say obviously, because maybe people don't know. Everything we do at Catholic Owned is focused on supporting the church. And so I like to believe that other Catholics are similarly concerned with the parishes being sustainable. All of us, we want to be able to go to Mass every Sunday and for every holy day. We want the heater on when we go in winter. That's a very American concept, but it's true. We will complain if it's cold, right? We want the air conditioning in the summer, but more than anything, we want the sacraments. We want them to be available for our children, and we want to have a parish home. And all of that takes immense resources. And so the heart of every Catholic ultimately should be oriented towards ensuring the sustainability of parish life at a minimum for our own children, if not beyond. And with Catholic Owned, we believe that supporting the businesses is one way to do that, because thriving Catholic businesses tithe generously to their parishes at a business and a personal level. They create well-paying Catholic jobs for fellow Catholics who also tithe generously to their parishes, and the cycle continues. And what I want to just close on today is that the best way to get your Catholic business owners involved, to get them to be supported so that they can give more to the parish, is by supporting them at the parish level. It's kind of the classic chicken or the egg problem. But when parishes and even dioceses take the initiative to say, we want to support those who are in our flock, we want to make it so that they can be supported easily because we want to evangelize them. We see the value of them evangelizing in the world for us in places we cannot go. And so in order to do that, we're going to make it easy to support them. That decision at the diocesan and parish level will have so many ripple effects throughout the whole Catholic economy. We pray that will happen. And so one of the ways that we are trying to help this happen is that Catholic Owned works with parishes, dioceses, and nonprofits to help facilitate that next step. So if you work at a parish, maybe you're a parish priest, or you work at the diocese or archdiocese, please feel free to reach out to us. We want to help facilitate this for you in a way that everybody wins and that is sustainable and easy for your staff. Um, we are willing to do it because our vision is building the new Catholic economy. So if that's you, please reach out wherever you're watching this, send us a direct message, and I would love to talk to you. Um, because if you can support the businesses in your parish or in your diocese, the fruit will be incredible. So I invite you to consider that perspective and to take action to support them. At the end of the day, building the new Catholic economy is not about theory or ideas or balance sheets. It's about people, those families, workers, and communities that we're all a part of who are trying to live our faith in the real world. When the Catholic Church supports that work, faith can go from being abstract and something we think about on Sundays to something that guides and encapsulates our entire life. Thank you for being here with me today. If this conversation has resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who cares about strengthening the Catholic economy, just like we do at Catholic Owned. My name is Brooke Joyner, and this is Catholic Owned Live. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back here wherever you're watching. I will be here on Wednesday, February 25th at noon Central. And I will be joined by a wonderful guest, a longtime Catholic business owner who is a wonderful human. And I just can't wait for you to meet her. So that'll be Wednesday, February 25th at noon Central. Wherever you're watching this now, you can catch me again then. And I'll also be live on Friday at the same time at noon Central. So that's all I have for you today. I'll see you next time. God bless you. Bye.